What's going on, YouTube citizens, Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters? What's going on, PayPal, all those that wish to watch? A fellow brother, I guess, in the struggles and difficulties of life, not just with finances, decision making, trying to figure things out, etc. Even people who abundantly wealthy financially have a lot of struggles. But that's not the case here. But anywho, responding to this Frustrated Men in Brazil documentary, really thought it was powerful. And the reason I'm zooming in a lot on videos like this, or documentaries, because the issue within the black community is like serious, and it's growing as far as the diversity when it comes to black relationships. And I've been watched a while ago with Oprah. I said Oprah, but Oprah talking about the 70% of black women that's single. And I was like, wow, that is a big chunk. So beside YouTube, I do ministry on the side and like little chats and stuff like that. And I remember sharing to a group of listeners at another social site or whatnot that if black women in America don't get their attitude or shallowness together, then it's going to lead to an abandonment where you would have more black women having no other choice but to date white men or other races. Now, the reason I say that abandonment is because, this documentary kind of displays that, like, the two supposedly intellectual sisters that's educated and doing financially well off, when got asked certain questions, they responded in an aggressive way, as if, men should be more accepting and, this and this and that, instead of just blatantly coming out and saying, well, hey, yeah, we need to straighten up in that area, or, yeah, we need to improve. It was kind of like an aggressive answer. So, but mainly, on this, the documentary does point out a lot of issues within our race. And a lot of good brothers like myself, but it's something that hits you, I guess, when you get older. Like, within the youth, it does not matter. What I learned is when you younger, like, responsibility, intellect, uh, how well a person manage themselves, how well a person make decisions, really don't matter when you're younger. You in your teens, early 20s. Well, really, early 20s is when it really starts to hit. Like, when you as a teenager, only thing that matters is you got a good-looking boyfriend, or the boyfriend got a good-looking girlfriend. That's the only thing that really matters. Those are the only qualifications or standards that you're looking for at the time, is that they look good by my side. They look good at my shoulder. But when you move out as a teenager, when we move out as teenagers and step into the first waters, I guess, of adulthood, before we get into the deep, we step into the shallow and start to get on our own and encounter different challenges, different responsibilities, where we need the support of another to encourage us. Mom and dad can share so much information with us. Mom and dad can help us out so much if both parents are in our lives. Our friends, we can mingle with our friends or whatnot and hang out or whatnot, and they can encourage us and push us so far. But when it comes to companionship, it's a whole different level. And companionship can be difficult to find when trying to meet somebody identical to your mentality. So younger, like I said, as a teen, companionship is more, hey, as long as a person look good, that's it. They look good, or the girl, hey, he got a fancy car with rims on it, whatever the case. But when moving out on own and encountering the challenges of life, now it's a whole different perspective. It's not the same perspective as when you were 19 in your teens, going in the early 20s, because you get out there and see that it's an ugly, cruel world that's merciless. You ain't really got time for the silly games anymore. You look for somebody to be mature and grow up. So I guess that would be the case with women feeling like, or black women feeling like there's a very rare selection amongst good men, because they put the good men in the category of being financially well off. Not just good looking, but financially well off. But I mean, just the majority of some mentality. But what I'm going to say, what comes with that is a person could be financially well off and make good money, but they don't manage money that well. So just because a person is making good money, don't mean they know how to manage it. So we can't really determine, a person's income does not determine a person's character. And that's where I see with some women in the case on here, and other women that may look at it from their perspective. That if a guy is not making a certain income, he's not a decent man. But if he's making the same income as her, then he's a decent man. That's why I'm glad that act like a man, no, think like a man, act like a woman, or think like a man, act like a lady. That's why I'm glad that they pointed that out with like Morris Chestnut Scene and Taraji P. Henson, how the brother who was trying to make an honest living coming up, trying to start his own restaurant. Yeah, he was trying to base his background off lies, because he knew the type of woman he was dealing with, a woman that was of high standards. So he like, man, in order to keep this woman, I got to make my background seem as if it's somewhat equal to hers. So of course he, built his character off lies. But a really honest guy just trying to do the right thing and really loving her for her instead of what she had. While Morris part, he playing the guy that was equal on her level as far as financially, the background whatnot. And she thought he looked good. I'm like, okay, this is my type of guy. So when she sat at the table with him, they ain't met in a while. They try to, reunite, whatnot, reconcile. That's when he was making it all about him. He was so full of himself. So that's when it hit her that I guess the man that's on my same level is not that good for me, because he thinking just like me. He all about business and all about for himself, and she was the same way. All for herself and all about her job. So when it came to her sitting at the table with him, and he acted just like her, all about himself and about the job, I guess that's when it hit her. I need a man that's all about me or for me, instead of a man that act just like me. So that's when she settled for, I forgot the brother's name, the actor, but that's when she finally realized, I had a man that loved me for me versus the one I'm trying to pursue that's all about himself. So, but like I said, it's a powerful documentary, and I'm glad that a lot of brothers, just kind of point it out, like what a lot of men go through down here. It's every brother not incarcerated. That's another thing I want to address. When I hear the statement being made, well, it's not that many men to choose from. It's a new generation, so that a majority of the men incarcerated, that's a lie. You can't say over 60% of black men incarcerated. Can't say that. Black men start getting incarcerated from what? I would say 80s and 90s on up. The late 80s all the way up to the 90s. Like when a lot of segregation took place, the Little Rock Nine and all that, yeah, that's when incarceration started to begin. When integration was a problem. So when integration was a problem, that's when the incarceration started to become on a rise because you had a lot of black brothers trying to fight against the injustices that took place. So that's why it's the 60s it was allowed. But after the civil rights movement where having equal rights, that's when the incarceration began. Because every brother out here not dope dealing, every brother out here not gang banging or getting caught up in stupidity. You got a lot of, I see more in the youth, the younger brothers, more trying to be rappers instead of dope dealers. Because every time I look around, I always see some young brother trying to pass out a demo disc of him trying to be a rapper. So not every black guy, so to speak, of all age groups is incarcerated. Because you got to remember, it's a whole new generation now. A whole different generation. Like I said, incarceration started, the majority of the blacks that got incarcerated was, for one, fighting against the injustices. Like I said, 70s, 80s, 90s. And then the gangster rap coming out, NWA, Ice Cube and all them. It was more incarcerated, like Fight the Power and all that. That was fighting once again against oppression. And the NWA was Ice Cube now rapping out of frustration. That's why they call themselves, I don't like the word, but Ian with attitudes. The word that rhymes with Tigger with attitudes. And like, okay, if y'all want us to be that, we gonna be that. So they put it in music. But after that, the incarceration took place, where jobs was real scarce and difficult for black men because you already had a lot of racism taking place, especially in the South. And they getting these low budget, low paying jobs as a janitor, etc. So it resulted in a lot of black men doing dope because they saw it was fast, quick money. So you had the dope dealing guys riding in the fancy cars with the nice rims or whatnot, sound systems, hydraulics on their car, etc., versus the honest guy doing it the right way, happen to save his money, and it's taking him a whole lot longer to get to the level of the dope dealer that's got the nice cars and clothes, etc. So that's the other end where incarceration took place amongst brothers who got desperate and resulted in dope dealing. So that's what make up what a majority of blacks being incarcerated. It's not all for the same reasons, but there's over a time period where you have some been locked up since the 80s, got life or got a whole lot of years, some locked up from the 90s, and some locked up from millennium, but they all been locked up for different reasons. And then getting to the core of what makes up that bulk of black males in the prison. Like I said, it's fighting oppression, then fighting against racism, and then because of getting desperate with low-paying jobs, getting locked up and incarcerated for dope dealing. But it's very few blacks that's in there for murder. More men are locked up for dope dealing than anything than because of murder. There are a few that been killed and shot, whatnot, but more than anything, dope dealing in this day and age. So, leaving what? I would say 40%, if not 30. I say between 30 to 40% may be locked up. So what about the other 50% or 60% of us out here? It's not 70% of us is incarcerated. It's about 35 to 40 maybe. So what about the other 60? Because Oprah statistics or studies show that mostly black women were single. 70% of black women. So the remnant of the black men not being single, so who are they with? Apparently with Asian, white, European, Italian, other ethnicities other than their own woman. So the reason that 70% exists is because what I spoke earlier about that abandonment has already taken place. Where you're seeing a lot of brothers, I guess good decent brothers, is just tired of arguing, tired of having to prove themselves to this female, tired of approaching a woman and being kind to her, trying to get to know her, and in response, he gets a sarcastic remark. He gets attitude. So getting tired of receiving attitude for kindness. So that's why a lot of brothers starting to migrate to other races or women of different cultural or different cultures. Like the brothers right here in Brazil. Like one guy, he illustrated how the woman or whatnot came and brought him, his food, and she put his straw in his cup or whatnot, were showing some hospitality, so to speak, even though it wasn't a home, but just a form of hospitality. And he appreciated it. Or how they interviewed some of the women, and one of the women explained that they was taught to value the man, that that's in the culture, to respect and value the man. So what man in his right mind wouldn't want to go to a place like that where men are being treated with respect and with value, treated as kings? Versus over here, women getting praised for trampling all over a man. We're teaming up against a man and belittling him, and you don't see that amongst males. We don't do that. How often do you see men gather in a group and team up against a woman? If a man having a problem with his female, you don't see guys group up and say, oh, you need to do this to her. Or she ain't nothing but, a B or H or whatever. No, you don't see that. Men mostly mind their own business. They might just be like, oh, man. Instead of them teaming up against the bro who having issues, we might share our problems or issues, just throwing it out there, in a little pool or discussion that we have. And just like Tyler Perry illustrated that, just like reality amongst black men or men in general. Why did I get married? When all the brothers, had issues with their wives, it wasn't them teaming up against one individual, one of their wives. It was them throwing their problems out there, sharing it amongst each other, throwing out solutions or, advice or whatnot, and then they go back to their married ways or married life. Just as same way as act like a lady, think like a man. How them brothers, when they came in the bar and they sat amongst each other, sharing their problems or whatnot they was having with their women, but never did they team up and go against a woman of one of those brothers or a wife or whatnot. So, but it's different with us because women team up and come against the one guy. Oh, she don't want you and she don't need you and you know but a dog or whatnot. And the brother like, man, first of all, I'm not dating all y'all. I'm dating her. And second of all, y'all don't even know my side of the story. Of course she gonna make herself look good. Of course she gonna make herself seem like she the angel in a relationship and I'm the devil or the demon. Of course. So, I'm just trying to throw out all these key points while it's fresh on my mind, Just throw out all these key points. So, I don't knock the brothers going to Brazil because me from experience it. And so I'm at TLT 1020, man. I see you zooming in a lot on relationships and talking about the divide between the black woman and the black man. It's not getting, I guess, we're somewhat frustrating but disappointing. Because like I said, in the past, man, me dating different girls, whatnot, and me thinking now at my age now, like back then it really wasn't serious. Back then it was just lust. You know, hey, you ain't have to have intellect with me. You ain't have to have, be knowledgeable or whatnot. You ain't really have to have much standards. As long as you had a nice shape, pretty toes, some cute eyes, and a button nose. I mean, it was game with me. It's like, hey, you fit. Me and you can vibe. But now it's like I still want the nice shape, cute toes, and the button nose, but I want to be able to vibe and connect with you. I want to be able to talk about anything, have discussions where it can be a friendship at the same time. I mean, just point blank, a relationship. Because if you can't relate to that person, it ain't no relationship. That's what a true relationship is supposed to be. Relating. So, just relate, we talk, we discuss, and at the same time, the lovey-dovey and whatnot will automatically fall in place. But somebody you can actually sit down and have a conversation with and talk to, other than arguing and fighting and, just over unnecessary stuff, or where there's a lot of insecurities in the relationship, or supposed to be relationship, which lead to a lot of arguing and a lot of distrust. So, that's my thing. So it's got old is like, okay, it's not all about getting a good looking woman now, but a good woman. I mean, of course, this is like with the analogy I like to use, like going to a car lot. It's more than just the body and interior, but you got to have a good running motor and engine as well. The whole package, not just the body alone and the interior. So, but another good documentary I want to share. This one right here. This one is man, this is powerful as this documentary here, Diary of a Retired Black Man, and it's like a counterpart to Diary of a Retired Black Woman. And I was talking to a coworker at work, and he told me about it. And I've been had this movie for a while, now probably over a year, and it's like defending the male's point of view. It's like expressing our perspective, like where we coming from. You got different brothers speaking their experiences that they had with women or whatnot, and what the flaw is in relationships. So, like I said, it's a good counterpart to Diary of a Retired Black Man. I mean, Diary of a Retired Black Woman. It's a good counterpart. So, for those who like their Brazilian documentary, get a chance, check this out, and order it or go to your movie store or whatnot, and think you'll enjoy it. And, for the brothers, relationships, sit down with your woman so she can watch it too. And that way you can point out, see, that's what I'm talking about. You see the stuff he talking about? That's what I go through with you. But not to, bash or whatnot, but kind of like using it as a tool, I guess, to kind of illustrate what you go through with her. Hearing it from other guys' point of views. Because, I mean, there's women on here getting interviewed, too. It's not all guys. He being fair. The woman's perspective, the man's perspective. So, but, man, other than that, one last point I wanted to make was, I made this point on my other video, or video response, but when we hear the statement being made that there are no good black men out here, or there are no good black women, we can't base that statement off our picks or decision alone, because a lot of people base their statement off their picks. I mean, example I used last time, if you date 20, if I date 20 black women, and out of them 20 black women, they was all bad experiences. So 20 bad experiences with 20 black women that I picked. I can't necessarily say that all black women are bad based off my picks, because those are my picks. Because a lot of us have men and women try to approach us that we just not attracted to physically. And they might actually be good-hearted people, but we be shallow in who we accept and choose to date or not. So when we make statements based off our picks, we can't say, oh, well, there's no good black woman or good black man, because out of all the ones that I chose versus seeing a couple that's been happily married for over 20 years, a black couple. So can't say there are none, because if that was the case, there would be no black marriages that last for over 15 to 20 years, or some even longer than that. So apparently there are, it's just that haven't ran across those people yet. So in this case with these brothers, I can understand they more focused towards the cultural difference. It's like in America, yeah, the America with the black woman is the diva mentality. And the brother don't want no diva. He want a supporter. I mean, biblically, God created the woman to be a helper of the man, not a hurter, but a helper. And that's what a lot of brothers want. It's like, man, if you want a good man or whatnot, help me to become that good man. Or if you already approve of who I am now, help me to stay that way by being supportive and encouraging instead of discouraging. Or a brother have to move and migrate elsewhere to still keep that part of him that's lovable by women, instead of letting one woman destroy him. Or vice versa. The woman migrate where that part of her that's lovable by men, instead of letting one man destroy it and take that away. So just, want to elaborate on that. We can't make a general statement because of our picks. Because we pick 20 bad women or 20 bad men, we can't say it ain't no good men, or ain't no good black women. It's based off our picks alone. Because I guarantee somebody walk up to you, and a woman, she like muscular, tone, build, whatnot, six-pack, all that, and a guy come up weighing 300, his belly hanging over his waistline, and, gotta wear some thick bifocals or something like that, and trying to flirt with you, but he might have the sweetest, gentlest heart as far as what you're looking for. You ain't gonna give that brother a chance. You're gonna be like, oh, no way. Get on your phone. Oops, I think I gotta go somewhere. My girlfriend's calling me, and stuff like that. Same way with the brother. The J-Lo, the Mayas, the Trinas, just a select few out of name, the vicious body looking women that look extraordinary. They approach you, yeah, oh yeah, baby, I'll give you a chance, da da da. But let the one that walks up looking like what's the name of that movie with Eddie Murphy playing a nerd or whatever, Norman. So let a woman approach you looking like the woman he played in Norman, trying to get to know you or whatnot, and you looking for the J-Lo or the Trina or the Mayas or Sierras and all that, you'll be the same way. I don't know. I gotta go. Or maybe we can just be friends, because we shallow. We base it off our picks. If you ain't fitting the criteria that I'm looking for, as far as having a shape or the body and the face, then regardless of your character, it's your outward appearance that's not accepted. So, hey, but anywho, want to limit it to 30 minutes and make sure I poured out everything that I wanted to share on this. But black women, seriously, me speaking on behalf of the good brothers, and excluding good mothers and ones that's married, and you're doing well. You got a good man and you taking care of yours, not going against y'all. But the ones out here, attitude, divalistic, you don't want to listen when somebody trying to tell you the right thing. You're too full of yourself, too stuck in your head, thinking that it ain't me, it's the men. Brothers gonna keep on going to Brazil and going to the Ukraine and going to Europe and Spain and everywhere else to date women outside of the culture of the States and see them women more embracing because, like the brother said, Essence writing a bad article. Oh, Brazil, all the men, capital AIDS and all this and that. Man, AIDS everywhere. AIDS is everywhere. AIDS, you got 1 in 5 women in the States. 1 in 5. So AIDS is everywhere. AIDS just ain't in no Brazil. It's all over. Like I said, it's right here in the States. So they're trying to bring that AIDS or those women are easy, and that's why. I mean, they might be easy going in character, yeah. Well, I mean, men want an easy going woman in character, and we ain't saying easy to sleep with in bed, but easy going as far as easy to get along with. Nobody want to sit up and, man, have a yelling match with you. Who can yell the loudest or who can get the most aggressive in talking. No. We want to be able to sit down, vibe, just lay back, have an enjoyable conversation, and say, hey, this person here, not bad. Not bad at all. I can talk with them all day long. I can vibe with them. I might even fall in love with them. But that ding, 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 no. No, not when we got a ding, ding, ding out in this cold, cruel world trying to make it. I already having difficulties outside the household, but having difficulties inside the household. When we get a break, we can't have no peace outside the home, nor inside. So, and this ain't me being a bitter brother or whatnot, but more disappointed. Disappointed because you would think women should know better and do better, but and I know women say, oh, you got a lot of men. I mean, true enough, you got guys out there that, want to be a player or whatnot, but it's some that originated with that. I mean, some guys might be doing it for ego, just trying to feel his ego because he got a lot of women attracted to him, so he's getting to his head, ego. Some might be doing it because they brokenhearted. What I mean is a brother that tried the relationship several times and just got fed up with trying to make it work and just going with women just to sleep with them, and that's it. But I ain't trying to commit to no sort of relationship. Then you got some who just heartless, like, man, just don't even care no more. While some that's broken hearted might beat a dog for quite some time and then eventually straighten up when they find the right one. Another reality pointed out and act like a lady, think like a man with the brother that played the player. When he was sleeping with different women or whatnot, he, when he met Megan Good, when he met her character that she played, Maya, I think, that's when he settled down because he saw some qualities in her that she wasn't the same women as the rest of them he dated. So seeing the qualities in her, he started to settle down and straighten up. But I said I can go the distance, but man, I'm just making sure I pour out all my points before shedding off here. But yeah, but Daryl Ty Black Man, that's another good documentary to watch. It's a movie slash documentary, but I mean it's just as powerful and deep as this. So wanted to express my points, get that out, and man, hopefully I enlighten some people out here that watch this video response as to kind of like a live reaction from somebody out in the YouTube community. And hey, so other than that, didn't mean to make it 34, 35 minutes, but hey, a topic like this cannot be summed up in 5, 10, 15 minutes. So it's going to be a little lengthy to get all the points across. But other than that, peace be unto all of you, of course. because it's needed in this cold, cruel world. A lot of sadistic stuff going on. And Christ for life.